What's going on, YouTube? Here we are the day before the storm, 24 hours before Hurricane Florence hits us, and what do we have in the backyard hiding out? Right there on the edge of the swamp. There's a doe and a fawn. And for some reason, they're looking into the swamp, not at me. Pretty weird. But that was kind of cool. Let's see how long they stay there. If you're an animal buff like me, then you've heard those stories about how animals can sense when a storm's coming. And I don't know. I guess that's what they're doing, maybe? I don't know. Might have decided to wander around. Looks like that little one's eating something. There's nothing really where they're laying to eat, but maybe some grass or something. But maybe they're strolling around, just chilling, waiting for nightfall. That's another thing. When is this? It's the second week of September. Around here, like the beginning of September, starts bow season, and about 2 weeks in, all the deer become nocturnal in this general area, not like the entire area, but like right here behind my house. I've went hunting many times, and for the most part, I like to just sit in a tree and video things. I don't really like to shoot. Well, I don't mind shooting things, but I'm not there to shoot things. But I like to just watch and, oh, look, there's a squirrel and stuff like that. But that's what I've noticed. Usually about the second week of September, they just go strictly nocturnal, and you will not see them. Well, you will, but it'll be about, you got to stop hunting a half hour after sunset, and it's usually about 10 minutes after that. You'll start seeing them wandering into wherever you're hanging off a tree. But pretty little does. They're kind of small. I mean, the one closest to us is a fawn. You can kind of see the spots there. Still has spots, so that must be this year. Well, obviously, it must be this year's yearling. Because I believe, what is it, like a year and a half they stick around with Mama? And then Mama kicks them out after like a year and a half? I think so. Maybe it's after no, I'm pretty sure it's a year and a half. I don't think it's like 1 year. I don't think like she goes around and gets knocked up again and then kicks the kid out. And I think she waits like a year and a half. I could be wrong about that. I don't know. I'm not a deer expert. But pretty little things. Just baffled why Mama's looking into the... Well, maybe... No, that's probably a better idea, actually. What we're looking at right here is what I like to call the land bridge, where they're sitting. To the left of them is a swamp. To the right of them is a swamp. And this is just a higher area between the two swamps that, I don't know, it's about my lawnmower and a half wide. I mean, and I have a 42-inch deck, so what is that, like 70 inches maybe, something like that? I don't know. We'll just call it, let's go ahead and be optimistic. We'll call it 6 feet. I guess that's not 70 inches. But, close enough. What is it? 60 is 5 feet. Okay, I was close. But that's where they're sitting. In the past, it's been flooded. And, as in the past, I mean all summer long. It's rained so much. It won't rain for a long time, but when it does, it floods. And that land bridge has been underwater for the most of the entire summer. It just popped up out of the water, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, something like that, because of the intense heat, and we didn't get enough rain for a while. Guess that'll all change when this storm comes, eh? But pretty cool. I love watching nature. Oh, and back to what I was saying about, I don't know why Mama's looking into the swamp. I guess that does make a lot more sense. Little one keeps looking my way, and see, you can see she's looking my way too. Oh, she's hearing something. Probably me. But yeah, it's very quiet around here. It's a ghost town. Oh, the wind's blowing. Never mind. She probably can't hear me. But she's probably facing into the swamp because there's probably a greater danger lying within the swamp than there is in my backyard, which is wide open. The little one's facing us, watching the backyard, so she's probably relying on the little one to have a better sense of watching around in a wide open area versus her having a better idea of what she's looking for in the thickness of the swamp. That's my guess. What do you guys think? Man, I love having this camera back. I am zoomed in so freaking far. It's not that far, it's only, what is that, 50 yards? 60 yards, something like that? I can't even remember what my zoom is. It says on the front, but I can't see it. I don't know. But I'm zoomed in all that way, like 60 yards, and it looks like I'm right up on them. Pretty neat. I wonder how long they'll hang around. well, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and close this video out. They're just kind of hanging out there. I imagine that's where they're gonna be until dark, which is about an hour. I think hour, well, it's very cloudy right now, so probably hour 20 or something like that. It will be, well, no, with it being so cloudy, it's probably like 1 hour exactly, and it's going to be pitch black. But then I'll turn the light on back there. But anyway, that's it. I just thought that was kind of cool. Mama doe and her little yearling just hanging out in my backyard. I'll keep it rolling, but I think that's kind of cool. I'll keep it rolling just in case they do something. Mama's jerking her head around and stuff, but that's because the wind's blowing and she's smelling all kind of stuff that's blowing around in the wind. Which we got coyotes, we got bobcats, we got fox, coons, possum. What else would potentially take down a baby deer? I don't think a coon or a possum would, but if a coyote got to it, coon and possum would definitely join in after it was all over and done with. What else do we have? I think that's it. Bobcat, coyote. Of course, nobody believed that there were coyote back here until two things happened. One, I caught a coyote on a trail cam. I don't remember where I put that picture either. I've got it. It's actually the swamp where the deer are right now, the swamp to the left. It was back towards me in front of that swamp. In technically my neighbor's property. I got a picture of the coyote, and then a few Halloweens ago, I thought people were just screwing around. My neighbor, like 3 doors down, when he lived there, he was a big hunter. He was the one that was telling me like the deer go nocturnal very quick in the hunting season, and he was a big bow hunter and stuff. Well, he's a big hunter in general. I thought he was playing coyote sounds because it was Halloween, and it turns out I talked to a couple of the neighbors, and they're like, no, man, that was like a big pack of them right there. Like practically, if you go another 30 yards beyond those deer, or maybe 40 yards, that's where those coyotes were, and there was a lot of them yipping and yelling. I wish I'd have got that on, at least recorded, because that was some really, really cool sounds. Kind of creepy, because I had my garage door open, and I was hanging out in the garage, but not that I'm very worried about coyotes. Although it's weird. Most of the things that live, we call this an island. It's not. It's a peninsula. But technically you have to go, like 90 miles north to get to the mainland. And they have it all blocked off as far as humans go. Deer can make it. But we call it the island. And the deer, a lot of the foraging animals, I should say, except for the horses, tend to be smaller. So if you go 10 miles, like across the bridge in like 10 miles, the deer are like practically twice the size because it's farmlands over there, and they munch down on some corn and some beans and stuff like that. But over here, there's not much. Like they just have to forage and whatever they find in the forest or people's yards and stuff like that. That's all they can eat. So that's why they tend to be smaller. Kind of neat, huh? Alright, well, I'm going to get out of here, do all that fun, happy social media stuff down below. Thanks for hanging out with me, and that was it. There's some deer.